Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back. My name is Georgia. If you're new, welcome, welcome. So, as you could tell from the title, we're going to talk about Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter. If you've been following the Wendy Williams story, not the story really, but what's been going on in Wendy Williams' life since she was diagnosed and she's ill and she stepped back from the public limelight, then you should be following what's going on. If not, then I'm going to read to you an article from the US Sun News that's going to catch you up a little bit. So if you've been watching, you know that Wendy's guardian has demanded that her ex-husband Kevin Hunter returns $112,000 after he was overpaid in the divorce, they say. And this lady is looking not a little bit shady. She's looking real shady. So I'm going to now read an article to you and then go into a little bit more about this lady who has been awarded guardianship of Wendy Williams when her bank realized that, our bank said that, she's been taken advantage of financially. So if you've also been watching social media, you also saw a post from Kevin Hunter. I believe it was on last Thursday. He's telling us to mind our business. We really don't know what's going on. Stop making up stories. And he's going to make sure that his legacy is protected. And he's calling this lady out. So there was a court date on Friday, April 19th. And it seemed like this lady is not going to be able to put this judge in her pocket from what Kevin is saying. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to read the article to you. So the headline for the article says, and this is the article in the US Sun. So the headline for the article says, "I don't trust her. Wendy Williams' ex-husband Kevin Hunter accuses Star's guardian Sabrina Morrissey of depleting host's finances in court." The US Sun obtained an exclusive photos and video of Wendy's ex-husband and her guardian Sabrina Morrissey on Friday during an explosive hearing in divorce court over financial matters. And I must say, Kevin is looking dapper in his this is sky blue suit and his aviator shades and stuff. He showed up to court looking fashionable. And Sabrina Morrissey, we see her pictured here in a tan suit with an orange scarf, and she's looking kind of stressed out. But the article continues with, inside the small and otherwise empty courtroom, the former daytime TV host's guardian Sabrina sat at one table while Kevin and his associate, a forensic auditor, Eric Pettis, sat at the other table across from the judge. Wendy's ex is back in court after his divorce payments from the star ceased in 2022 when Wells Fargo froze her accounts. The father of two, and Kevin has come on social media and said that he's been struggling because he needed those alimony payments to live. But when they froze his account, when they froze Wendy Williams' account, I'm guessing, he was being paid out of one of those accounts, then he didn't have a source of income. But he's been coming on social media and he's telling us that he's struggling. And there's going to be more on that later on down the line, where he was supposed to get some documents from Sabrina and it never happened. But let's continue to read. The father of two has been trying to get the former TV host's financial records from the time since they divorced through her being placed in guardianship, as they would be needed for his discovery to bolster his argument that payments should resume. At the start of the hour-long hearing, the judge acknowledged difficulties in this case. Judge Michael Katz said, "I know this is a difficult case for a lot of different reasons. It's difficult for both of the parties, but also because of the physical, mental health, and financial issues involved. It's difficult for both parties, and both parties need to have this resolved," the judge said before continuing. "I think this case needs to go to arbitration. Kevin told the judge that he feels the matter is an emergency or emergent. He went on to cite Sabrina being named as a defendant in a case that accuses her of being involved in a racketeering scheme involving another ward who is not under her guardianship. Keep that in mind. They are accusing Sabrina of being part of a RICO case. So we're going to talk about that. The Sun, continuing to read, the Sun exclusively reported on that case against Sabrina earlier this year. Kevin alleged to the judge, Miss Morrissey is under a RICO investigation and there is a lot of malfeasance. I have no problem with arbitration. I just want the documents from the finances, he told Judge Katz. Kevin went on to allege that Sabrina has claimed Wendy has no money, but he then claimed that Wendy made nearly $500,000 from her involvement in the Lifetime docuseries Where is Wendy Williams? You remember that docuseries that aired last month or in February? He's saying Wendy made nearly $500,000 from that. And now this lady is saying that Wendy has no money. It goes on to read, when we were in mediation, that was when Wendy was in an agreement with Lifetime and getting paid $500,000, Kevin told Judge Katz. There were blatant lies in what Sabrina, has been telling us, and we still haven't seen the bank records she's supposed to give us access to the retirement accounts. There has been gross negligence as far as her being a guardian. I don't trust this woman, Kevin went on to say. Sabrina's rebuttal was short. She denied knowledge of the RICO case. Really? Kevin referred to, then speaking specifically to Wendy's supposed lifetime earning, the Guardian said, I disagree with Mr. Hunter's statements. The judge went on to explain to Kevin that despite any allegations against the Guardian, that doesn't make this case an emergent matter. Kevin then continued to say, the Guardian and Wendy's counsel have not given me a reason for stopping the payments. If Miss Morrissey had tried to modify the payments, that would be different, Kevin said. I'm not just concerned about the money, but she's come in and swooped in and depleted the accounts in that time. This has become a real travesty, Wendy's ex-husband continued. At the conclusion of the hearing, Kevin walked out of the courtroom with a big smile on his face while Sabrina looked fairly stressed. As the U.S. Sun previously reported, Wendy's guardian has asked the judge to put a gag order on her ex, a request Judge Katz was not entertaining during Friday's hearing. Wow. So with the gag order request, it says, and I quote, I request that the court increase the protection of this case and issue a gag order, thereby instructing Mr. Hunter not to speak to the press or others except for legal advisors about these matters, and to instruct anyone with whom he has previously discussed these matters that they should not communicate about these matters with anyone else, Wendy's guardian demanded in a filing earlier this month. As the U.S. Sun reported last month, Kevin is asking the court to intervene after he claims his marital settlement agreement payments suddenly ceased just before she was placed under guardianship in 2022. He is asking for the payments to resume. Show me the money. In documents filed by Kevin in March, Wendy's ex agreed he was promised access to his ex's financial records by her guardian. Kevin wrote in a filing on December 8 of 2022, I attended a mediation with Wendy's counsel and Wendy's New York court appointed guardian, attorney Sabrina Morrissey. In that mediation, Wendy's counsel and guardian agreed to provide statements to accounts and bank records they claim to have gotten permission from the New York court to provide. So now she's saying Wendy has no money. A source close to the mediation negotiations in 2022 previously revealed to the U.S. Sun that during one meeting between the parties in December, the mediator told her ex and his team the reality is that there is no more money. The out-of-court sessions were supposed to resolve Kevin's claim that he is owed money earmarked for him in his and Wendy's marital settlement agreement. The insider close to the negotiations said that despite the mediator's statement about Wendy's financial affairs, there was no proof offered to them to support the allegation that the former TV star is broke. Kevin repeatedly asked for Wendy's financial records during mediations, according to sources. Kevin said despite supposed assurances from his ex's guardian and her attorney that they would provide him with Wendy's bank records, they never materialized. During the Wendy docuseries, Where is Wendy Williams?, which aired on Lifetime in March, the star said, while discussing her guardianship, "I have no money. And let me tell you something, if it happens to me, it can happen to you," she told the camera of her financial situation. Wendy lost her lucrative show, The Wendy Williams Show, after being absent for the entirety of the 13th season. Now, I said I was going to tell you a little bit more about Sabrina and her alleged RICO case. So yes, the Sun did write an article that was published in February 26th of 2024, and the title reads, it says, "Under Fire, Wendy Williams' guardian accused of robbing client of $30 million lawsuit while controlling troubled host finances." I'm just going to read a little bit of it to you just to give you an idea of what they're talking about, what Kevin is accusing her of, and she's saying she has no knowledge of this RICO case, but yes, the Sun did cover it. It says, the U.S. Sun can exclusively reveal that Wendy Williams' guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, her firms Morrissey and Morrissey LLP, and about 10 other attorneys were named as defendants in a lawsuit. Morrissey and other attorneys were accused in the suit of conspiring to perpetrate a baseless guardianship against an individual, Mr. Jose Verdugo, in New York, who had won $5.5 million in a personal injury claim. The plaintiff in the case, attorney Michael Flomenhalf of the Flomenhalf law firm, represented Verdugo after he sustained head and back injuries from a construction accident. The case was opened in November of 2022, and in August of 2023, the plaintiff filed they discontinued the above entitled action without prejudice and without cost to either party as against the other, which means Flomenhalf is allowed to refile charges after the claim to bring the case to another court, depending on the statute of limitations. Flomenhalf claimed that the trouble started around 2009 when a former associate of his, Herbert Rodriguez Esquire at Shorts, Goldstein, Campisi, and Cates, contacted his client. The court documents allege that Rodriguez misrepresented to Verdugo about Flomenhalf handling of his case and told him and his wife, who desperately needed the award money, that his case could not be finalized unless Verdugo consented to a MHL Article 81 guardianship that Verdugo did not want and need. That's where Wendy's guardian, who was criticized by the Star family in a docuseries by Lifetime that aired this past weekend, alleged became involved in the dispute. Rodriguez and his firm initially partnered and conspired with Sabrina Morrissey of M&M to impose on Verdugo and and MHL, Mental Hygiene Law, Article Guardianship, the court documents state. Under the guise of protecting and vindicating Verdugo, they jointly pursued a dual litigation strategy aimed at getting rid of Floman Half and allegedly reaping Morrissey and Morrissey substantial court-awarded fees as guardians counsel through litigation, maligning Floman Half legally and ethically. The suit claims that Wendy's conservator became guardian of Verdugo on January 19, 2010 and continued to October 7, 2015. The complaint also alleges that she was involved in litigation related to the conservatorship. The suit goes on to claim that Morrissey and the firm SGCK were empowered by both the confidence that their fee applications would be judicially rubber-stamped and the consistent judicial resistance to affording Verdugo the opportunity to demonstrate his capacity under the New York mental hygiene law, and thus invalidity of the guardianship defendants had been untremeled in their scheme. The suit alleges that guardianship judges also plays a role in the alleged scheme. Ongoing ex parte communications between judges in the guardianship part and the guardianship attorney has also facilitated the scheme. Defendants have conspired to perpetrate a baseless guardianship over a ward named Jose Verdugo under the guise of protecting Verdugo's best interest, the lawsuit alleged. For more than a decade, defendants have imprisoned Verdugo in a humiliating and oppressive guardianship by manipulating and serially deceiving him, as well as New York Supreme Court and the appellate division, it continued. The complaint, which details over a decade of litigation related to the conservatorship, including filings pertaining to the guardianship of the ward and various other court actions on his supposed behalf, accused Wendy's conservatorship and other guardianship attorneys of falsely perpetrating a baseless guardianship to silence and legally incapacitated Verdugo from acting on his own behalf. Wow. The plaintiff alleged that the litigation, which in part drained Verdugo's settlement with excessive attorney fees, all stemmed from $5,000 discrepancy in 2007. Oh my goodness. In the following years, Verdugo was under the control of various guardianship attorneys, including Wendy's current guardian, Morrissey. A slew of litigation was pursued in time since Verdugo was placed under guardianship that the suit allegedly ate up a massive amount of his personal injury award. The lawsuit alleged, under the banner of supposedly protecting Verdugo, using these sham litigations as a vehicle to amass extraordinary fraudulently based attorney and guardian fees, plundering Verdugo's multi-million-dollar personal injury cover in $731 in the process. The case estimated after Verdugo's initial award, he had $2.47 million left after attorney fees, case expenses, and discharge of liens. But in the following years, the defendants allegedly pursued litigation without their client's consent in the tune of at least $1.1 million. The claim was dismissed voluntarily before Morrissey or any of the other defendants filed an answer responding to the specific allegation. Morrissey was also contacted for comment connection with the story. The suit alleges that the plaintiffs thwarted for years Verdugo's rightful emancipation from his guardianship, and that they strenuously sought to insulate Verdugo from discovering that the guardianship was being exploited for their own personal financial gain. The case claims that Verdugo's daughter had tried to get her father out of the conservatorship in 2021. The case alleged that Verdugo's medical records confirmed his capacity for more than a decade. The steadfast refusal of the guardians and the court to arrange for a capacity hearing to determine the necessity of the guardianship ultimately required Fatima, who's Verdugo's daughter, to file an Article 78 proceeding ordering this hearing, the filing stated. One of the doctors wrote, he is not found to be incompetent to a degree that he needs guardian from a neuropsychiatric point of view. Floman-Hart complaint alleged that in 2016, Wendy's conservator pursued additional litigation against Floman-Hart, to which her ward entered an affidavit. Her client, Verdugo, allegedly wrote at the time, I do not support the lawsuit against Mr. Floman-Hart and his law firm. I got the Peachtree money and deposited it in my bank account. I gave Mr. Floman-Hart permission to use the rest of the money how he saw fit to pay for my case expenses. I am angry that I am being used. The guardian is using me to sue Mr. Floman-Hart without my permission, and it has and continues to cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars in attorney fees. I understand that Mr. Floman-Hart tried to get the case dismissed, but the attorney from the law firm for my previous guardian, Michael Weiner, swore that I have been insane since 2003, even though I have never met Mr. Weiner. I understand that Mr. Rodriguez and his client's law firm also supported that lie. I am a functioning, intelligent, and independent person employed by different companies in different jobs. I am certainly not insane, the statement concluded. Floman-Hart's latest lawsuit also accused Morrissey and the other defendants of racketeering. As set forth in the preceding paragraph, defendants on each of them have engaged in and contributed to a chronic pattern of collusion and conduct entailing both deceit and attempted deceit upon plaintiff Verdugo and the guardians themselves. By reason of the foregoing, plaintiffs have been sustainably harmed by sustaining attorney fees and expenses, massive loss of professional time, reputational harm, and delay in receiving appointed attorney fees and investment loss and interest. The suit also claims the defendants violated civil rights law. In violation of the Civil Rights Law 70, these defendants prosecuted each of the matters in the consolidation purposely on Verdugo's behalf without Mr. Verdugo's authorization. When he possessed capacity and the right to be free of guardianship control, thus entitled to make his own litigation decisions. The total sum of punitive damages being sought from all of the defendants was $30 million. So that includes Mr. Verdugo, I believe his attorney at the time, and now his daughter. So they're looking for $30 million from all 10 of these attorneys combined. So regarding Wendy's guardianship now, it says, as the U.S. Sun first exclusively reported in early 2022, Wendy's bank, Wells Fargo, locked the stars out of her accounts and filed a petition to hold a guardianship hearing for her. Wendy's attorney at that time asserted that Wells Fargo was in possession of several $1 million worth of funds belonging to the ailing host. In the documents, Wendy's lawyer said that the star's former financial advisor told the bank that Wendy was of unsound mind while Wells Fargo was denying her access to her bank accounts and statements. Wells Fargo then justified its decision to keep Wendy's account frozen by referring its authority under various clients' agreements to pause or reject instruction for a proposed transaction, pending judicial or administrative remedies should they suspect financial exploitation, dementia, or undue influence. Over the next several months, Wendy was placed in a court-appointed financial conservatorship under attorney Sabrina Morrissey, which the U.S. Sun previously exclusively revealed. Most conservatorship cases in New York State are filed under seal. So we really didn't know. So that's the end of that article regarding Sabrina Morrissey. And so just to summarize everything, we have Kevin Hunter, who went to court last Friday, April 19th, and he is demanding that his alimony payments be resumed because he did not get a reason why it had stopped. I'm guessing, we all know because the account is frozen, so therefore the account that the money is coming out of is frozen, so therefore he's not able to get it. He's telling us he does not trust Sabrina. We find out that Sabrina Morrissey was placed by the courts as Wendy's guardianship. Now we're finding that Sabrina was indicted or named in a RICO case against another person who she had guardianship over, or placed herself in as guardianship over, that was not court appointed. And now that gentleman is suing her along with 9 other attorneys in the amount of $30 million because they're saying that, hey, our fees need to be paid for us going to court for you, when the man was telling them that he doesn't need any more court appointed attorney. He doesn't need any more attorneys. He even had doctors who came and say that, he is not crazy and he's able to make decisions for himself. So this is a whole mix-up. And now we're having Kevin saying that he doesn't trust this woman. The courts are saying that there's no money left. So this is really a lot. And I think Sabrina Morrissey needs to be looked into more. We don't trust any of them. We don't trust Kevin because we felt like he was taking advantage of Wendy from the get-go before she started declining. We don't trust Sabrina because it seemed like she's a crook all around. She's an attorney. I'm not saying all attorneys are crook, but like she's a bad one. And we're not even thinking about Wendy and Kevin's son, Kevin Jr. Like, how is he surviving? What's going on with him? And where is his mother? How is she being taken care of? I didn't watch the documentary, so I really don't have an opinion on that. But yeah, it's all around a huge mess. I'm assuming that from this hearing with the judge on Friday, the judge saying that this needs to go to mediation, this doesn't need to be a trial. So I'm guessing the next court date or the next hearing, we might make a few steps forward. But Kevin is letting it known that don't trust this woman. She is depleting all of Wendy's money and we need to keep an eye on her. And he needs his alimony payments resumed. So we're going to keep an eye on this story and see where it goes from here. But in the meantime, I really do hope that Wendy is safe where she is and is getting the help that she needs. We really need somebody who actually really cares about Wendy to step in and help her because she definitely needs it. And I think the best person to do that would be her son, because we see he's the only one that's really been there for her from what we're seeing in the media. I don't know if the rest of the family members just don't want to be in the media or they just don't want to be seen. I'm hoping that her brother will be able to step in and help her in some way, form or fashion, or just give us an update of what's going on with her. But we want to know what's going on with Wendy. And as far as Kevin Hunter telling us to mind our business, no, we're not going to mind our business. We want to know what's going on with Wendy, and we need somebody who really has her best interest at heart to help her out. So that is what I just wanted to. I know this was kind of a long video, but I wanted to let you guys know what's been going on with Wendy as far as the U.S. Sun is concerned. And like I said, I will bring you more information as it becomes available. I thank you for watching this video. If you're listening to it, thank you for listening. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more celebrity news, entertainment news, reality TV reviews. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, be sure to take care of yourselves and your families. Bye-bye.